Texas Podcast Massacre contains spoilers and adult language. For more horror, visit us at our website at texaspodcastmassacre.com.
Welcome to another episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, coming to you from Houston, Texas. I'm your host, Mitch, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Nate.
I wish you suffer even after you die.
Oof, well, not nice. But here we are. Okay. Well, nice to see you too.
Or it was either that or can you please not kill me? Right. That's a classic quote from this movie.
I just assume that's what that's the problem with you telling me the first one is that's just what Lisa says to us every time we log off after recording. So
I thought it was the other quote I had, which is sorry, I have nothing to say to you.
Well, that's during recording.
Okay, so it's like
after
a before.
I hope you suffer.
Before, during,
I hope you
after.
suffer even after death is what she says to Nate and I at the end of every episode.
I think I'm conveniently dropping off the call just before that every time. So I think it's mainly you. I think it's mainly
so it's just me. Well, and of course we have our queen of unsuspecting victims, Lisa.
Revenge is for movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we watched the movie, so
we did. Welcome to our 251st episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, where each week we take a horror movie and debate a horror-related topic with our unsuspecting victim, who is usually not someone we would consider a horror fan. Lisa, you
unsuspecting victims at the bus stop. We just never heard back. What happened?
Right. We're really kicking off this next 250 episodes. With a bang, because this was a Lisa pick.
You picked this, Lisa. You picked it.
Yeah,
calm down, Lisa.
Lisa really was like, let's do this one. Have y'all? Why don't we do I Saw the Devil? I hear it's a family friendly romp.
There's a lot of family in it. So there's that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A lot of family, even at the end. So there's actually surprise family. There's that much family in the movie. There's people are honoring their word and family. There you go.
Yeah.
It's a feel good movie.
Yeah. Lisa, we're gonna get into it, but this was a Lisa special. Hell of a movie to pick. I didn't know you had it in you. Lisa's boy. Lisa's we're not going to wait till the end of the episode for Lisa to tell us she hopes we suffer after death. We are doing this week's movie. This was a 5-star review request, and Lisa got to do the honors because we had a couple options to pick from, and so we went with I Saw the Devil. No,
Lisa went with I Saw the Devil.
That's fair.
It's all on Lisa. On Lisa.
We've absolutely got to be very fair and clear on why we're doing this film. Lisa, I'm very excited to hear your thoughts on this one. I want to know how you feel about your decision. You really just had a really just a no-win situation for you. Like we'll go over them in a second. All the movies you had to choose from. Wow, just wow. A lot of movies in there. It
was Lisa's choice, the Sophie's choice.
We'll discuss. I'm still
of unsuspecting victim horror movie.
Oh my goodness. I gotta tell you guys, I still can't believe we hit 250 last week. I'm still
basking in it.
Yeah. Who would have thought we'd be here?
No, when you were asking me to do this movie at a funeral or do a horror movie podcast.
Yeah, let's be clear. I didn't actually do this movie at a funeral.
That's
this wasn't one of the films I pitched to you, if I recall.
That's slightly better. I'll give you that one. I would not have expected 5 years later to have been doing this. And Lisa picking I Saw the Devil is just the cherry on top of something I would not have picked.
Yeah,
so.
it's been a fun journey here. So we're on our way to the next 250. We're on our way to 500. So let's get started, Lisa, with let's get started with the debate question.
Hearken to me, you two-legged dogs. Drink the vision mead of knowledge.
Nathan.
To learn what it is to live and die in honor. To be in battle slain and in death rewarded by the Valkyrie's embrace.
It's too long.
And what's great about it is that it is only the vocals, not even the score is in that. It is only Willem Dafoe and nothing else.
I love it. However you ripped it, excellent job. Well done.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. The next 250 episodes, Nate, you do all the engineering for it, because you clearly got a handle on it. You managed the whole the rap song last week. Just with some minor tweaking from me, you pretty much had it nailed down.
You know what I could have done?
What?
I saw the devil and it opened. Man, that'd have been really good. Oof. Damn it.
I kind of want you to just try to ad lib. I feel like you probably could just. It sounds like you're on a roll, and I don't.
Ace of Base. I guess in this movie is probably eat your face.
You're.
I don't know.
Oh my god.
Perfect.
Cut your face. I don't know.
You're bad. You're batting 1,000. You're approaching Jordan flu game levels of just on fire. This is your NBA jamming it right now.
Okay. Damn. Wow.
That's just nice for compliments I think I can give you, Nate.
Yeah, I think so. I think this should be the last episode. See you guys.
Lisa, don't say that. Lisa's already out the door.
Lisa's chair is still spinning. Lisa's chair is spinning right now. There's no one in the chair.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, look, this was a 5-star review that we received. Now, this is a second 5-star review from this particular person. I'm trying to find the list and the review, which is very sweet and nice. And thank you. We'll read it in just a second if I can ever find anything ever again. But Lisa, I want you to talk me through. So we're going to go through the list of movies, but talk me through what made you want to pick this movie. I want to understand the thought process.
Why? Because you think I've gone crazy?
No. I'm just curious. I want to.
Not like you had a lot of great choices, but why this one in particular is really the question.
It was really more. I didn't want to watch any of the others on the list.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that list. So Benji Gray sent us this 5-star review. He gave us 5 stars on Spotify, which, we don't get to read your reviews, but if you show us that you did it, and then, let us know. We'll take that in. Now, Benji, this is his second 5-star review, so that's why we gave you the choice. And let's talk about some of your choices. So we saw I Saw the Devil, but we could have watched Terrifier with a very creepy clown.
Have you seen the clown of this, Lisa? Did you do some research on this or
no?
Okay, the clown has like the tallest face possible, just to make it even creepier. Like a
worse
really,
than it.
Oh yeah.
No, it's like lengthy, it's like some sort of I don't know. Google Terrifier and just
no,
look
thank
at the
you.
face.
Here,
It's so tall. It's like
Mitch,
a tall head.
I'll send you.
No.
It'll be a safe.
No.
A safe picture of this creepy ass clown.
No.
Okay, the clown. His name is called Art the Clown. FYI.
Art Garfunkel.
Yeah, and the first part of this movie, they see this clown just coming into their a diner and just being weird. And frankly, look, I'm not overly afraid of clowns. This clown is the worst, much scarier than Pennywise. The movie itself, not great. It is getting a sequel.
Of course, I would.
But I mean, this is one of those things where it's real creepy because it's like we just got done with Guillermo del Toro. It's like the eye dude, the creature from Pan's Labyrinth, right? I mean, it's just such a creepy clown, and he's just such a very good character actor that's really the power of the movie. The rest of the film is okay, pretty fairly gory. You know, it kind of has a Bone Tomahawk-esque kill in there, and if you're aware of what I mean by that, then you pretty much know what happens. Go check out our Bone Tomahawk episode if you need to refresh.
The Bone Tomahawk is closer to the Pale Man than Terrifier.
Fair. I just mean the kill scene is.
Wow. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so there was that. We could have had clown, which, to be fair, had we done that, we would have had to have gotten someone who has a clown phobia on this episode. I can't do a clown movie and not have someone who has some sort of, I don't know. Is it
you love perpetuating clown phobia?
Is it bozophobia? What's the technical term? Well, someone let us know.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Bozo. You remember Bozo the clown? Did you not have this up north?
Coolrophobia. There you go.
That's terrible. Bozophobia is right there for the taking.
Coolrophobia. There you go. Coolrophobia.
I don't like any of that. Did you not have Bozo the clown up north, Nate?
I love Bozo the clown.
Okay, Lisa, you had Bozo the clown growing up, right?
Bozo buckets. Come on, Bozo buckets.
Okay, let's talk about this real quick. I know this is off topic, and we'll get to the other movies. These kids were the worst at the bucket toss. We have a whole generation of kids. I feel like beer pong came out of frustration of people watching Bozo bucket toss and be like, these kids sucked. Let me show you how to do it. And then let me add beer to it. Just the worst. Just the worst way to start your day because every kid missed it. And you're like, I could have done so much better.
The clowns were terrible. Or maybe they were scared of the clown. They were so nervous they kept missing. That is like the best case scenario.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, so look, we didn't do Terrifier. One day, maybe. We had the option of Human Centipede. Now
it's happening.
Nate is trying to manifest this. Nate's trying to manifest Human Centipede like 2 or 3 though. He's not even trying to go for the first one, which does.
We cannot do the first movie. It's
fair. It stands and that goes in the face of our proud tradition at this podcast of going directly to a sequel. Lisa, why? Just I'm curious. Human Centipede, why didn't you want to rip the Band-Aid off of that one?
I will avoid that like the plague for as long as humanly possible.
Human Centipede lead possible. But yes.
Yeah, but then eventually you'll get stitched to it.
I just don't see how it can be an entire movie.
Oh, you'll find out one day. One 5-star review we're 1 5-star review away from us finding out.
Do it. Come on.
Lisa.
We got Gretel and Hansel.
I've mentioned this, I think, on the podcast. I can't remember who I told thanks to. I think I mentioned this that Lisa and I were out on a date and we were walking by this downtown theater. It's called in Houston. We used to live downtown, and there was a trailer. There was like the poster for it, right? And I was like, "Oh, that poster looks really interesting. Human Centipede. What's that?" And we almost were going to get tickets for it, but then we were going to go home because it wouldn't come on for several hours. So we went home, take care of the dog and all that. And I was like, "Oh, let me go watch the trailer, kind of just see what this movie's about. Maybe we go see it." I watched the trailer. I'm like, "Oh, I'm not taking Lisa to that." Lisa, I mean, you were that close. Do you ever think about that? Like how close you were?
I totally blocked that out of my memory.
Yeah, how close we were to having just walked in on that off the street with no warning.
Jeez.
That's
really scary.
That's the scariest part of this. Okay, so now next movie on the list was Feast. Now, Lisa, you have a
big nope.
Yeah, you have a big I was gonna say love-hate, but it's mostly hate relationship with Feast. Can you help me understand, or help Nate understand, because I think I know why your feelings for Feast have come about this way. Like what led you to
Mitch loves Feast.
I love Feast. So to be fair, I don't know that it's not going to be necessarily a 10 out of 10 by any stretch. Not like our last movie. But it's got a special place in my heart. So I'm curious. This horror comedy, why do you just talk me through the experience with it?
There's zero things about that movie that would have any sort of redeeming quality. I don't want to watch an entire movie about creatures just killing people by eating them.
We just watched Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh, come on. They're not even close.
They were.
They
were
close.
turning people into cotton candy smoothies.
In Feast, do they have like crazy straws? If they have crazy straws in Feast, then I'm in on
Would have
it.
been tight.
Do they have popcorn?
Yeah.
Every good horror movie has popcorn. I think we've established that. Okay, so fine. Feast one day, God willing. I still want to do Feast 2 sloppy seconds, but it's an uphill battle. I need your help, listeners. Next was Cannibal Holocaust. So you were weighing I Saw the Devil, Cannibal Holocaust. And I'm going to assume that more the title of this movie turned you off of it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you still got a little bit in this one.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see. Are we going to get Cannibal Holocaust first, or are we going to get what's the Green Inferno, the complete ripoff of it first? I'm curious to see which one will end up on our list before the other.
We've already gotten too many Eli Roth movies.
Yeah,
I think it's only been one. Now if it was Cabin Fever, now I'm slightly in on that.
Like I hate to say we're anti anything. But we're really not Eli Roth fans, right? Like, are we all kind of in agreement there? Not really. Yeah. So,
Lisa, what do you think about Ryder Strong from Boy Meets World?
I like Ryder Strong.
Stop trying to pitch Cabin Fever.
Right.
No,
Cabin Fever.
Lisa, no, you
Cabin
don't.
Fever. It's not bad. It's not that bad. Ryder Strong uses Listerine in a hilarious way.
Cannibal Holocaust is I would say a classic in the sense of it's a very, I don't know how the way to describe it. It's a 70s horror film, but it's certainly one of those like infamous ones that I think, particularly for like found footage type ones, is a very early predecessor. The only other one that was on this list that you're choosing was Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. Now, Lisa, did you?
This is not a lot of good options.
See, y'all wonder why I chose what I chose when I have the options I had.
This is tough.
Well, and to be fair, the first movie that actually Benji gave us in his original 5-star review was the Poughkeepsie tapes.
Oh
so
my God,
Benji's really been hitting
There's a
1,000.
theme.
Yeah,
Oh,
Benji is bringing us like
South Beach bringing the heat.
Oh my God, let's bring some trauma your way. Maybe even some trauma films
or trauma. I'll say Poltergeist coming up. Thanksgiving. So Lisa, what do you think about like very realistic like serial killer like that? This movie has some of that, like brutal, realistic serial killer.
Michael Rooker's in it.
Yeah, Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer is, I would say, worse than this movie in terms of just like the
straight up violence.
This gritty, like too realistic.
Yeah.
I'm saying like from that perspective, you probably picked well. Like, I don't know. I would probably have picked Human Centipede over this, but other than that.
Okay. Yeah. That was going to be my next question. Nate, you would have gone Human Centipede?
If I was Lisa, I probably would have. I would have went counterintuitively for Human Centipede. I think Human Centipede it's a little shocking, but doable.
I will say this. I never would have picked I Saw the Devil. Would have been the one you would have picked, Lisa. I would have guessed. Oh man, I don't know. Maybe I would have guessed Terrifier. Honestly, I didn't feel like you would pick Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. I knew you weren't going to pick Feast. Cannibal Holocaust, maybe sort of kind of. I thought Terrifier was maybe the one that like might have seemed like the most normal of the horror films in here.
The lesser of all evils.
Yeah, you knew it was going to be gory and gross, but like it's probably just kind of a normal type of horror film, more so than maybe some of the other ones. To be fair though, you may have chosen the best option out of all of these, and we're gonna get into it.
This is the best movie of all of them.
Yeah, I think for sure.
Like the most compelling movie. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so you may have actually worked your way into it. So I mean, bravo. I don't know that makes you feel any better, but hopefully it does. Anyway, Benji, thank you for your 5-star review.
No, thank you, Benji. That's enough. You capped it too. Thank you.
He did put at the very end, sorry, Lisa, which I mean, every
That's
email.
like when a kid accidentally hits you in the head with something really hard, and then it's like, "Oh, sorry."
Oh, sorry. It's fine now, right? If I just say sorry, I can still do everything else, right? If you would like to leave us a 5-star review, please do so. You can do it at Apple Podcasts. You can do it on Spotify. You can do it on Amazon Music. You can do it. God, there's a billion places. Really, anywhere that you can find us. I'm sure they'll let you leave a review. Send
an email with 5 of the Terrifier clown faces in a row as images, and then say 5-star review.
5 arts. Terrifier. I give this 5 arts.
Yeah, that's a lot of art.
That is a lot of art.
I'll take it.
Yeah, don't do that.
Also, hey, if you want to leave us a voicemail, 346-246-3143. Send us a voicemail and say, hey, Lisa, you should have picked this one. Although I think you picked right, Lisa. The end of the debate question is you picked correctly, I think.
Yeah.
I want someone to leave
stand by my decision.
Someone send us a 5-star review and give Nate nothing but Puppet Master films to pick from.
Oh God.
Like, let's make him have to choose. I'm already on the hook now for Hansel and Gretel or Gretel, whatever the hell.
The person in the review put the wrong name. Oh. That's how terrible it is. I'm excited. I purposely did not watch it to get excited for this episode. I knew inevitably would come. So
yeah, no, Nate. I'm gonna tell you this because we might have to delay it just slightly, only because I almost want to somehow, if I can't actually fly out to Portland to watch that film, because I really want you to understand, and I really want to make sure that you see like the vitriol that I have for this film and why I hate it so much. And I want to watch you. And I honestly, if I see you smile or look entertained, our friendship may be over. We're going to find out. We'll have to figure something out. I don't know. I'm going to get you like full Clockwork Orange set up with like the chair and everything, so I can like monitor your like, are you enjoying
this? Just based on the trailer, I was like, oh, this looks interesting. So we might have very different interpretations of this.
No, the trailer did look interesting. It's a lie, Nate. It's a dirty, filthy lie. Once again, thank you for your both 5-star reviews from Bry Guy and Nate's mom. So that's and that wasn't a joke. It was actually Nate's mom, not someone writing it as Nate's mom. We actually had voicemail, which is good. I'm surprised no one's ever tried to write in pretending to be your mom. So that's something.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Good on everyone for not doing that. All right, look, we need to get into Lisa's pick for this week's movie of the week. I Saw the Devil. Okay, so to be fair, I didn't actually watch the trailer before I got the episode ready because we were running a little behind tonight. So I hope everyone enjoyed the ASMR experience for I Saw the Devil. I'm sure it makes for compelling radio. It's like I'm just hearing a bunch of random noises, some weird breathing. It's basically an ASMR film. You know what? Well, Lisa picked this. Nate, what is this movie about? What was the pitch for this one?
The pitch for this movie is there's a serial killer who messed with the wrong. A serial killer who killed the wrong person, and sometimes the person that you murder is affiliated with a Korean secret agent. Who can
agent man.
Nate is not used to doing summaries.
And Korean secret agents
in the
Korean secret agents can fight back. So there you go.
No, Mitch, I gotta pitch it.
Yeah,
there you go, Lisa. Sorry, I should have left it with the professionals.
Come on now.
I should have left it with the professionals.
Come on. Korean John Wick goes on a revenge tour when his wife is brutally murdered.
Boom, done. Yeah.
There you go. Although John Wick came after this, so probably John Wick copied it, but whatever.
Yeah. That's how you do it, Nate. I mean,
yep.
Study up for next time.
I did. I studied absolutely zero.
In another 200 episodes, we'll ask you to do it again, and hopefully by then you'll have figured it out. Nate, what can you tell us about I Saw the Devil?
I Saw the Devil came out in 2010. There was a kind of renaissance of like gritty Korean thrillers in the 2000s into the early 2010s. And this being one of the most well reviewed. It's a 7.8 on IMDb, Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
So it's literally one of the highest movies we've ever done.
You're welcome.
It is an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes, 87% audience score. So there you go. Some of the same movies in that vein. Man from Nowhere, Chaser. These are all Korean classics as far as I'm concerned. Mother is a real good one from Bong Joon-ho. Memories of Murder is actually a little similar-ish to this, in that there's a serial killer in Korea. But yeah, it's a well-regarded movie. The director is Ji-woon Kim. Ji-woon Kim basically had 4 straight movies of just beasting. He did in 2003. He did A Tale of Two Sisters, which is a classic horror film. Have you seen that one, Mitch?
Yes.
That is real good. Future episode.
Yeah, it's very good, Lisa. It's
very good. Okay. It's got ghosts in it though, so heads up on
what
that.
Doesn't.
And then he did A Bittersweet Life, which is it's like a mobster assassination movie with Lee Byung-hun, who is the cop in this one, or the secret agent. He did The Good, the Bad, and the Weird, which is just a classic. It's a Korean spaghetti western that takes place in China. Very good. And then this movie. And then after that, kind of off a cliff. Last movie he did, I watched, which is Along the Wolf Brigade, which is set in the distant future where both North and South Korea agree to establish a joint government. Basically, there is a special police in like a sci-fi dystopian universe that take people out. It is very bad. It's on Netflix if you want to check it out. So off a cliff. As soon as I Saw the Devil, that was the peak, and then that was it. The secret agent in this movie, Lee Byung-hun. You might remember him from Joint Security Area, which is an incredible movie as part of the Naturian collection. He was also in The Good, the Bad, and the Weird and A Bittersweet Life, like I mentioned. You also might remember him as Front Man from Squid Game, the guy with the mask on. I remember him from that, Lisa.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's broken a little bit into Hollywood films. He was Storm Shadow in 2 G.I. Joe movies, Rise of the Cobra and Retaliation. So there's that.
Yeah. Were those part of the Nigerian collection?
They are not. He was in Terminator Genesis. I remember that one.
I remember that coming out.
Yep. He was in the Magnificent Seven remake that had Denzel Washington and Chris Pratt in it. That's right.
His agent's doing him no favors.
Yeah, he's doing some work.
I feel like he made someone mad.
No, I think those made him. I think those made him.
They probably made him money. No, you're fair.
They made him some money for sure.
Yeah.
So there's that. There's only a few like big Korean movie stars, and another one is the one who plays the serial murderer in this one, and it's Choi Min-sik, who you might remember as the main character, Lisa, from Old Boy.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Old Boy was the kickoff of the 2000s Korean brutal thriller phase. That was one of the early.
You mean it wasn't Josh Brolin?
The what?
Nothing. Go ahead.
One added to the short list of movies that I saw before I met you guys, surprisingly.
We saw Old Boy in a midnight showing in River Oaks Theater in Houston. It was one of the greatest things of all time because my wife fell asleep and woke up as the guy was cutting off his own tongue. Never forget. Incredible. So Choi Min-sik was also in Lucy, the movie where Scarlett Johansson was like a cyborg or whatever on drugs.
Oh yeah.
He was in Lady Vengeance, which is part of the Vengeance trilogy.
Also a serial killer on that one too, right?
I don't remember. It's been a long time since I saw that one. Oh no.
Yeah, I believe he was also in that one. So really picking up a knack for serial killers /
Yeah. Really getting it. I gotta watch that movie again. I gotta watch that. It's been a while. So there's that. I'm not gonna go into too many more taglines for this one. To catch a monster, he must become one. Not really. Caught him pretty early in the movie. So that's false. That's caught him almost instantaneously. It was actually very fast.
Yeah.
Abandon all compassion. Pray for revenge. Prey.
Ooh.
And evil lives inside. Pray for Revenge is pretty good.
Pray for Revenge is solid. I like that.
This movie was forced to cut about a minute and a half to get to get past the Korean censors. So there was even more of it you could have seen. Apparently the international cut has a sex scene between the cannibal and his girlfriend. That's pretty wild. I forgot to mention also that the director, Ji-woon Kim, also went Hollywood briefly for a movie called The Last Stand, which featured Arnold Schwarzenegger and Johnny Knoxville. So, from 2013. Forgot about that one. So they both went Hollywood briefly after this. Much more so the actor than the director. That's mainly it. It's just, it's a movie. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. Initial thoughts, Lisa. I Saw the Devil. Great movie or the greatest movie?
And I thought, well, now I'm on IMDb now. I thought the two main guys had been in something else together from what I read, but now I can't find what movie it was. So my point to that is that if you liked their dynamic, I thought there was another one. I'll have to figure out what it was that I was reading. Anyway, sorry. I stand by my pick in the ones that I was given, for sure. I don't know. I go back and forth with this one. Yeah, it's super, super violent. Although, I mean, you guys were preparing me. Okay, it's going to be super violent. And it is. But I feel like we've watched some pretty bad stuff. So there were some scenes in this that were really hard to watch. But I don't know. Am I getting desensitized? That's bad, right? There's only so many times I could see someone beat someone else over the head with a stick and be like, oh, okay, well, he's beating another guy over the head with a stick.
Yeah, I think with this one, it's certainly more the type of violence and that it's a little bit grittier than some other like more over the top violence scenes. Like I think like anything you might even see in some like even like The Boys, right? It's a lot more graphic and like holy, like crazy, right? Like over the top violence. Same thing with a lot of the grindhouse stuff. This one, I mean, yeah, like we'll get into it, but some of the scenes with him just like knifing people and hitting with sticks and stuff like that with the hammer and stuff. Those are just more just brutally violent and a lot more, I guess they feel a little bit more realer. And maybe that's why I was like, that might be a little more, a little more difficult for you, but well, good. I know we can start moving you on to the hard stuff now. That's great.
No. This is probably the limit. Is it unsuspecting victim friendly? No, not really. I mean, it's pretty violent. So, and it's very, I mean, the serial killer part of it is rough. Like there's a lot of victims. It's not just one person. So that's hard to watch. And I mean, this movie came out forever ago, so I'm just going to spoil stuff. But I mean, I almost felt, but I just didn't have the time nor the energy. I almost felt like this one needed a, what's the Bill Hader character on SNL? Stefan. I felt like this needed a Stefan review of it's got this and it's got hyperviolence and it's got cannibalism and it's got a cat and mouse detective game like thing. Cause I was like, it's got every time you think you're like, oh, they're going to add another thing to this. So.
Yeah. I got to ask, I mean, does South Korea have this big of a serial killer problem? Like,
yeah, there seems
there's like
an outsized percentage of serial killers.
yeah, like, and they're very inventive and all that. Like, the serial killers in American horror movies are all like, they all follow the same like Seven sort of like thing, right? Like they're all like in the mysterious and and the crazy hyper what is it? A hyper intelligent loner types like. Yeah, there's just like random cannibals just running around, and I don't know. Any of our South Korean listeners, let us know. Is there an issue?
Let us.
We just need to understand. It's just,
if any of you guys are still around, please write in.
Because everyone's just walking around with hammers, just ready to go.
Now that is, and in this movie, that guy's always holding a weapon, like always. It was Hammer-esque.
Hammer time.
He's always got a weapon. It's Hammer time. And when the guy doesn't have like a weapon, like he's just getting his ass kicked. Although the guy is super agent, like a super secret agent, whatever.
Yeah.
But even with that, I mean, come on.
I mean,
this guy's getting his ass kicked all the time.
That's fair. Nate, what were your thoughts? Like you had seen this movie before. Was this your second or third time watching it?
Only my second. I watched it right after it came out in the US, so probably like 2011. So I hadn't seen it in quite some time.
Yeah, it's about the same here.
End of the movie still surprised me. I was like, oh yeah, it was. I remember like the rough conceit, but I was like, oh no, that's worse than I remember. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that part that's one of the few parts I did like fully remember about this movie was like, oh, I know how it ends. It is a doozy.
Yes.
But Nate, what are your thoughts having watched it again? Like, how does that stand up? Particularly when because you've seen like, I know Lisa's seen Old Boy. You've seen Old Boy. And I know you like the Josh Brolin version better with Elizabeth Olsen. I understand.
You see Brolin.
Keep Brolin. Yeah, I mean that's got Elizabeth
Thanos,
Olsen,
keep
Samuel
rolling,
Jackson.
rolling.
Exactly.
And an Olsen in there.
It's got a third of the MCU in there.
I will tell you this: when Spike Lee, it was like Spike Lee, Old Boy. I'm like, this could be. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. It was so bad. Old Boy is part of the Criterion Collection.
It's
want Korean movies.
It's literally got like four. I forgot Rami Malek's in the Old Boy remake. It's got like four people from the MCU in there. Which maybe that's not as shocking. Isn't that like basically every actor at this point? Well, that's what I was going to say, but it's not as shocking as it used to be.
No, Rami Malek is definitely in there, but Samuel Jackson, crap. There's even more. God.
Yep.
Anyway, no, but this movie's good. It's not your classic cat and mouse. He finds him very early in the movie, and then it's like, I'm gonna just torture you, like mentally and physically. By the way, this guy should have died about 5 times. The serial killer guy should have been dead after like the first beating, and there's like 4 different beatings that happen throughout the movie. This guy, okay, well, this guy, I don't know if is this MCU, is this Wolverine? Is that the MCU? I have no clue. But this guy's Wolverine-esque in his ability to heal. But no, it's he catches him like 30 minutes in the movie?
Yeah.
The movie's 2 hours long, catches him like 30, 40 minutes in. And then it's like a really unnecessary cat and mouse game. And the crazy thing is that like people in his secret agent government department know he's doing this, and it's like, yeah, go for it. Like we'll just let the serial killer roam the streets.
Well, yeah,
fun.
And maybe
that was the weird part.
Maybe that's where I disagree with Lisa to a little bit of extent here. Lisa, you mentioned that this is like Korean John Wick. I think this is Korean Batman. Like, how many people would still be alive if Batman had just killed the Joker? I mean, I get the whole like, oh, if you kill a killer, then you just replace the number, right? But it's like, yeah, but you also did let like 1,000 people get like murdered in between here and there. Like stop putting the serial killer on the street. Stop putting him in Arkham. Just take care of business, and then we're done, right? Like,
yeah.
He's just hold on. Elaborate on take care of business.
Look, he has that rock. He's holding that rock over his head, just ready to end things. And then he's like, no, let me concoct this elaborate plan where he's gonna have a tracker, and hopefully he doesn't get diarrhea at any point. And I'm just gonna keep catching him, and like keep watching him. Right? He several times in this movie before he intervenes, he literally is letting him like go through and like assaulting people, beating people. like he's not stopping him before he starts to do any more harm, which I feel like would be kind of the point, right? If someone murdered your fiance, wouldn't you want to make sure they don't hurt anyone else beyond your fiance? Like other people are fully traumatized, and he kind of lets it go on before he like shows up and catches them off guard. It's a really bad plan for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little weird on that front. It's not that I don't get it. I just, good Lord, take care. It just, you got it one, man. That's how things turn around on you.
Yeah, you should have caught this guy, and then it should have been like a 45-minute movie.
Right. It's short.
Should have been 45 minutes. Should have been a tight 45. And then the guy should have been in jail and it had been done. So there's that.
Yeah.
Lisa, now, how many people died after the fact? So 1, 2. Well, the guy's jaw was broken, but he technically didn't die, right?
Oh, that was really rough.
That was a rough one.
Well,
I think he's alive, though. I think he's alive.
That's fine, but that was still, I think, one of the roughest.
What about when he hit the guy in the face with the weights?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't show it.
They did show it for a little bit, though. They showed
it. The guy in the hospital bed, when he just sticks his hands in his jaw and starts ripping, I was like, oh.
Yeah, that one's. Lisa could. I mean, Lisa said a number of times. I think you could just rename this movie to "I Saw the Devil: hard to watch.
Yeah.
That scene.
But I mean, but for me, looking into it more, it just makes the agent guy just so much more unhinged that he knows what this guy's doing and still lets him go. Oh no, did the guy he stabbed in the pharmacy die?
I think he saved.
I think so.
I don't know that he died. I thought he saved him.
It looked like he was pretty out of blood. But I mean, yeah, pretty out of blood at that point.
And what one nurse gets sexually assaulted. The other daughter dies.
Yeah, saying those. Yeah,
a student gets sexually assaulted.
Yeah, a lot of rape and attempted rape in this one.
Yeah, not
good, not great. I'm glad they cut that sex scene because although I guess it was consensual, but like really gross, supposedly. So there's that. But yeah, when he the way he hits people with hammers and just hitting people and just very cavalier and a dick to everybody, like the doctor he threatens and then he threatens the nurse. He's just like, oh yeah, I guess it's easier for the nurse. He's only going after people who are smaller than him too. If you ever noticed.
Oh, sure.
He's not going after anyone tall or anything like that. He's just going after people he thinks he can easily bully and slash murder.
Yeah.
And when he doesn't have a weapon, he's kind of worthless at fighting. This guy sucks. Hot take: the serial murderer slash serial rapist and murderer is sucks. That's a hot take, but here we are. What did you think about? Lisa, when the serial killer was let go the first time, what did you think? What was your thought process?
What the fuck is this guy doing?
Yeah, you couldn't have thought he caught him that early, right? That wouldn't be the normal.
I know. I told Mitch, I was like, well, that was a short movie. He's got to feel guilt for the body count that racked up after he let him go 3 separate times. It's just very, very, very bad. I feel like he could have still gone through with his plan. And I get what he was trying to do. I get he was in grief, but I feel like he could have gone through with the original plan like the ending was from the get-go. Just do it. Just do it, and then you're done, So, yeah, it was a lot watching it go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah. Were there any, I'm just curious, were there any scenes that sort of stood out to you in this film? Because one of the things I think with this movie was just, I think there's some really interesting camera work and, obviously there's, you have all the violence and everything, but I think there's some really cool action scenes and other things that happen. Was there anything that stood out?
I mean, they do a good job of trying to twist and turn a little bit. So when he leaves the house of the cannibal and you see 2 bodies come out, you don't know for a second whose bodies they are or what people they are. And then you realize it's the cannibal and the woman that lived there. So you're like, oh, well, where'd the serial killer go? Then you realize, that he still has them. So they kind of did, a little bit of the cat and mouse game, a little bit of figuring things out and stuff like that. But yeah, it was just insane. It's just a crazy movie.
One of the scenes that I really love in this film is when he first gets released and the very first time and he gets picked up by affected by the taxi or whatever. And it's I think one of them's the 4th suspect that he was starting to look for. That was on the list of here's the 4 people we think might have done it. And they have that he just starts just shanking them, 2 dudes in the same car, and the camera's just doing a full 360 swivel the entire time. That is a awesome scene in terms of just the filming of it. And it's definitely kind of a oh shit moment where it's just super violent, blood everywhere. I mean, Nate, you had to appreciate this scene, right?
What does that mean? Appreciate? What does appreciate?
Know what it mean. You know exactly what it means. No, I mean, but I think the creativity of it. There's not a whole lot of don't think you see a whole lot of scenes like that outside of maybe like some action films. I thought it was just an inventive scene, right, in terms of how they shot it and everything.
Yeah, no, I mean the framing and the shots in this movie are very well done. I mean, it's a, I guess, cat and mouse ish game. That's kind of a played out cliche term, but it's a cat and mouse game where the cat has a tracker in the mouse's body. I don't know if that really counts, but yeah, I mean, the setups are cool. I mean, there's a cannibal house. There's like a huge, like a large cannibal house where there's crazy set piece. Some cool parkour in there also. Lisa, you big parkour fan?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Wasn't that sweet? That was cool. It's like, oh, that came out of nowhere. This guy's awesome. I can see why he's kicking everyone's ass in this movie. But there's that setup. There's in the middle of the city. There's like a lot of driving roads kind of deal. I mean, he kills some bandits, that are, there's a car action scene, right? Like you mentioned, it's actiony. There's action elements to this, actually, quite a bit more than I would have anticipated. Like more than like a 7, right? There's a little more action in this one, and different like set pieces. So I don't know. It's a good movie. It's depressing though.
Yeah.
You end this movie like, it's a Greek tragedy, right? It's like revenge consumes you, and then you're terrible, and there's unintended negative consequences, like your future father-in-law getting hit in the face with a bunch of weights, and your fiance's sister getting murdered. Just like the Greek play Electra, basically the same thing. No, but yeah, it's I mean, but it was, I mean, the lengths this guy was willing to go for his fiance, who he didn't know was pregnant either, was just brutal.
Yeah, him finding that scene out was not fun. Yeah,
that sucked. Now, no, Lisa, did you catch the end? Like, did you think? Like, did you see where the agent guy was going to go the last time he captured this guy? Because he captured him like 4 times. Did you see where it was going to go at the end?
Yes. And I'm just glad that he ended it there, because I got really nervous for a minute. He was going to drag the kid to it even more. So I'm not thrilled with the ending and bringing the kid and the parents into it, especially the kid, right? I mean, he's a kid. He's innocent in all this. He's got nothing to do with his father being a psychopath. So I wasn't thrilled with that. I'm glad he didn't hurt the kid, though, because I was like,
at least the kid didn't catch the head. It was the dad. So that's good.
Okay.
It would have been worse if it was the kid. It could have been slightly worse.
So where does he go from here? Does he turn into Batman, or does he turn into another serial killer? That's really the crux of it.
Does he become Dexter at that point?
Well, that's the thing. Does he become Dexter, who saw his mom murdered, or does he become Bruce Wayne, who saw his parents
apparently
murdered?
There are tens of thousands of serial killers in South Korea. I think he could Dexter it up and be just fine.
He's not the hero this city needs. He's the hero South Korea deserves. Oh God.
A soul for soul. There you go.
Oh, well, there it is. No, I don't know. I can't imagine anything. Look, y'all maybe think he goes Dexter. I wouldn't be surprised if he just goes home and just pretty much ends it. So, both ways. I mean, what has he got to live for at this point? He's at the end of it. He is just sobbing uncontrollably. He's sunk into the lowest depths. Everything in his life has been wiped out effectively. I mean, one way or the other. I think the
crazy ending would be.
Go ahead.
I think the crazy ending would be like, what if he, like you say, sobbing at the end? What if he like smiled and like started whistling at the end? Like, wouldn't that have been like 100 times more disturbing?
Yeah, but I feel like it would have been really out of left field.
I know it'd have been disturbing.
No, but not in like not in a good way. Like this wouldn't have made any sense. I don't.
he just starts whistling the Kill Bill.
Oh God. Yep, there you go.
Great.
Trying to wiggle his big toe. Yeah, no, I don't know what else he has to live for at this point.
He's like he goes on like a.
I mean, because at the end of the day,
he goes to speed dating. He goes to speed dating.
Oh God.
It's like, tell me something about yourself. Like, I am really protective of my girlfriends. So.
Not that protective. I mean,
I'm really protective. Really protective.
God.
So
yeah, I don't know. Because at the end of the day, the serial killer won. He's right. He's like, you lost. No matter what happens, you've lost. Right? You didn't win anything here. You've sunken down. You're just the same as me. And now, Yeah,
that guy being in jail would have been way more. Well, I don't know. He got his family in it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, if you're going to come back, if you've lost and you're trying to get back at somebody, I mean, this is like 90% of peak getting back at someone. I mean, it's up there. He took a shot. I don't know. Do you think it'd have been better if he just put him in jail right away and like then he had to live in jail? Like half the movie is him in jail. I don't know.
No, I mean, again, what would have made for a more interesting movie is different than what would have worked out better in real life, probably. Right?
Exactly. Now, Lisa, I'm gonna say. So let's say that the secret agent guy, he's single.
Oh my God,
he's single. Hey, how appealing is this dude character wise at the end of this movie? Like, how do you feel about him? Are you empathetic? Do you think he's a monster? Like, where do you land on it? Right? Because obviously, did a lot of terrible things.
That's a hard
but one. He has motivation, so it's obviously a gray area. But where do you land in that gray spectrum? I'd be interested to hear.
I'm not thrilled. I think he should have just caught him and turned him in. Also, they caught him in like 5 minutes. So why has he been able to go on for so long?
It's because he's just killing nobodies, apparently.
Yeah, but the father-in-law literally handed him 4 people and said, okay, it's one of these 4 people. You're sitting on this information?
Yeah, I feel like that's...
You don't care until it's your
daughter? It's all fun. Yeah, it's all fun. It's all fun and games when people get murdering someone until the daughter of a retired police captain.
Well, and again, my guess is that most police interrogation, like questioning tactics, don't involve taking a wrench to a dude's ball sack. So that might have something to do with it. Can't get the evidence any other way. Like that first person that is
that'll do it. I guess.
Yeah, here's 4 people, but we don't have any evidence. Oh, don't worry, I'll figure that out. Not usually ideal.
That's true. Yeah. Do you think this guy gets like arrested at the end of the movie? Like, what's after the credits? Like, does he get arrested for breaking many laws?
No.
Or do you think it's just covered up and? Or he gets like commended maybe for catching the guy. I don't know what happens.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it's fun that he's a national hero and probably gets sent off on like some like special assignment somewhere.
Okay. Well, that guy played a guy in joint security area who was maybe he goes up to the Korean border after the fact. Although the movie was happened before this one, but that would be an interesting twist.
Yeah, there you go.
They just sent him in North Korea, take down Kim Jong-un. Like you're broke. You're broken. You're spoiled goods here. But if you take down Kim Jong-un, all of a sudden, then your dead fiance would like you. So there you go. Done. I don't know. It's tough. There's no good answers at the end of this. There's nothing positive other than two serial killers are off the street. So
yeah, but apparently, I mean,
all's well that ends well. All's well that ends well.
That's a drop in the bucket. What it seems like.
But how many people did that person's? Think about it this way: just the cannibal. How many dead bodies were in that freezer? There was so many.
That was really bad.
This was like Fresh-esque, but like more and like way grimier also.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think just that by itself was worth it to take that guy down. That guy was serial murdering all over the place. So I don't know. Maybe it's a little upbeat. You know, a lot more people in Korea maybe after this one. I don't know.
One can only hope, I guess.
That's the most positive spin. Yeah, that's the most positive spin I can possibly put on it. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go.
It's
a rough one.
Any other thoughts about this one?
So one last thing on this. So there was a US remake that was planned, but it did not happen.
Was it planned after Old Boy, and then when Old Boy flopped, they just changed their mind? Or?
No, it was before that. It was like a right after.
I was just curious. Yeah,
right after kind of deal, and they had a lot of people involved, and they're just like, nope, never mind. You know, wasn't an established property. You know,
sure.
Remakes. You know, the 2010s. You know, it was like just when like the art house horror was starting to hit. I don't think it would have done very well. Plus, this movie was made for a pretty substantial budget and it was a flop. I guess I didn't even get into that part, but this movie was a flop, by the way. It did not do well in the box office. I mean, the budget was $6 million and it did $12 million in the box office for a movie with like 2 movie stars in it. So it did not do like super well. In general, and that was the 12 million was like all it was the worldwide box office. So after released like over the course of a year across all the geographies. So yeah, it was not great. Like in terms of how well it did in the theater, but now obviously I think regarded as a classic of that time period. Like this, there was the French extremist wave, right? Like this is like the Korean extremist thriller kind of wave, right? Like this is toward the tail end of that. And it was quite a ride. I mean, Lisa, there's a lot of other gross movies like this if you want to watch them.
In the same area. My quota.
Your quota. Okay. Well, actually, the quotas. So the serial killer guy from Old Boy had actually not done any movies because he was actually protesting the Korean quota system.
Yeah. So I read
Korean movies.
I saw that, but I don't know what that means. So what does that mean?
So they required movie theaters to run a certain amount of Korean movies in them at all times, like a certain amount of days a year had to be Korean. Like I'm saying Korean, it means South Korea. There's no North Korean movies. Korean films. I read extensively into this for absolutely no reason, but they were in South Korea was in bilateral talks with the U.S. on trade, and the U.S. was like, "Hey, we want you to drop down the amount of days that you have to do Korean films, so that more Hollywood movies could go into the theaters." So there was a big fight. The government was like, "Yeah, we'll do that," and then like the Korean Screen Actors Guild, Actors Union or whatever was like, "Hell no!" It was actually kind of a big fight. So he didn't do movies for a while. And then he
didn't want them to get rid of the quota.
Exactly. Yeah, he wanted to keep. Yeah, but eventually it got dropped. So down pretty substantially.
Interesting.
And he's like, well, I guess I got to do movies again. So I guess I'll do I Sell the Devil, where I'm another. I'm a dude with things in my hand hitting people, just like Old Boy. It's like I'll go back to the familiar. And here we are.
There you go.
Yeah, 141 minutes. So 2 hours and 20-minute movie is pretty long.
Yeah, too long.
So, all right.
Well, speaking of too long, let's get into the final cut.
Final cut.
A lot of final cuts in this movie.
There are. Damn.
Lisa, I will give you the option. You chose this film. Would you like to go first, or you want to go last?
I'll go last.
Okay. Nate, can you go first?
I can go first. Yeah. So this movie, like I said, I haven't seen it over a decade. It's a good film. We just caught it on Amazon Prime before it was, I think, is scheduled to be removed, right?
Yeah, it's gone now.
Nope.
Oh well, sorry about that. Too bad, guys. But too bad, guys. No, it's a good film. I don't plan on watching it anytime soon again. Like, it's not a feel good movie. I mean, what movies are that we do in general, but it's closer to Poughkeepsie Tapes than I would like. So thanks for that. Thanks for that 5-star review again, but we're getting closer to Poughkeepsie Tapes territory here. That said, I mean, it is a solid movie. It's a good movie. The two main actors are incredible. They're very good. The guy who plays the cannibal is like, if you want to take like a skeezy actor masterclass, this guy crushes it. This guy is one of the skeeziest looking dudes ever. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
He did some stuff with his eyes and his like mouth. And it's like, oh God, this guy is. Well, then his mouth gets totally torn to shreds. But before that, some great acting. The acting is just so good, even though the movie is like obviously very gory and the end. I was still surprised by the end. I remembered that he got him back, but I was like, oh, there was the kid and the estranged kid and the estranged parents. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. I'm gonna give it 7 out of 10 laxatives, which is how he gets the tracker out of him and goes off to kill people.
Oh my gosh, that was rough too.
That was
reaching into some poop. Reaching into some straight poop. And that guy doesn't flinch for a second. He's like, I'm just the scummiest dude. Like, I'm a scummy dude. My friends are somehow even scummier than me, even though I'm a serial killer who rapes and murders women. Like, somehow my friends are worse. I don't know.
I got friends in low places. Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah, where the whiskey flows and the femur chases right there. Yeah, I don't know. Cannibal Guy was just something out of this movie's got it all, guys. This movie's got it all. It's if something bad is happening in the world, like this has got a solid slice of it, a couple different directions.
Yeah.
So yeah, 7 out of 10, though, very good. It's probably a little bit better than that, but I'm just never wanting to watch it again. So that kind of drops it a tiny bit.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you at one point. I mean, I think the acting in this film, and I think the cinematography and the shooting really elevate it a bit more. The story itself is it's okay. There's not a lot to it. The cat and mouse is interesting to a degree, except for the fact that, like, again, it's so dumb. Like, if he just killed him, then like 8 people would not have been murdered, and he wouldn't have gone into this crazy descent into madness.
Yeah, he clearly wasn't thinking clearly, but yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's good, and like I said, I think without such a solid job of acting, I don't think you would end up caring about the characters or really about kind of what happened. But I mean, I felt very invested, right, in what was going on, which, you know, a lot of these kind of like Old Boy, I certainly was interested in the mystery, right? But some of these like revenge horror films where it's like the whole point is, oh, I've been wrong, so I'm just gonna go on a straight like murder spree, can get kind of boring. I mean, at least I think you even feel that way, and I won't put words in your mouth before your final cut, but I know you feel a little bit that way with like the second and third John Wick, where you're like, okay, what's long ass movies of him just like killing people?
Yeah,
cool, right? Like that's kind of how this one is. I'm gonna give this movie 6 out of 10 jawbreakers. It's good. I agree with Nate. I don't ever need to really watch this one again. But if you're really into just a violent, you know, revenge murder, this is probably one of the better ones. I mean, I think even the I think Nate, you said the Rotten Tomato scores, I think even kind of coincide with that. This is probably one of the better ones outside of maybe Old Boy.
Old Boy is the progenitor.
Yeah,
and future episode.
And Old Boy is not even really as much a revenge film. It is, but not in the same way like this and some of the other. A lot of the ones that kind of precede this are where it's really like I'm just gonna go in full murder spree.
Well, it's revenge the opposite direction against the protagonist,
yeah.
which is why it's awesome, which is why it's so good.
Yeah, but it has that mystery of like what's the end game here and all that. Yeah. So anyway, all right, Lisa. You know, I'm dying to hear where did you end up on this one?
Oh, in terms of the movies that I had a choice to watch, I still think I picked the best one of the list. It's well done for what it is. The cat and mouse game is good. It's the things against it. Yeah, it's very violent.
Is this unsuspecting victim friendly? I guess we never asked.
No, I think I mentioned
it's a formality.
Yeah,
but
I think she mentioned at the beginning, but even
I had to officially ask. Yeah.
No way. There's too much. There's violence. There's cannibalism. There's rooting around in crap. There's a lot in this movie. Yeah, but it was still well done. I could see why it got a high review on all the, all the stuff. I'm torn on this one. I don't know. I probably will give it a 6 out of 10.
Oh, that's way higher than I thought.
Yeah. I mean, it's good movie, I think. And it's interesting because they cut out even more stuff, right? I think it was just slightly too violent for me. There's a lot of killing. And I don't think a single kill is done with a gun, is it?
No, not kill.
So it's all very up close, sharp objects, blunt objects, murder, which is hard to watch too. So that's against it. And then it was just a hair too long. Like they could have tightened it up even more. But other than that, yeah, it was well done. So
damn, I was not expecting that. Okay, so first 5-star review was from this person was Poughkeepsie Tapes.
Yeah.
You did not give that a 6.
No.
So this it's trending upward. Is what
there you go.
Okay.
And on a high note.
There we go. There we go. Trending upward from like -100 to 6. All right. Well, the next one better be a 35 out of 10. So balls in your court on that one.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode. Nate, where can they find us?
You can find us, as always, at TX Pod Massacre on Twitter, Texas Podcast Massacre everywhere else. Give us a 5-star review and Lisa's 17 movie choices. And look, you'll get I Saw the Devil out of it. So give us a 5-star review on the podcast platform of your choice. We'll put your movie in. Gretel and Hansel / Hansel and Gretel made the list. It was double requested. So that's official, Mitch. That's officially on the list. We have another upcoming movie, Slither. That was a request from Stacy Bryan 61 on iTunes. Thanks for that, Slither. Lisa, I guarantee you will like Slither.
Huh. Okay.
It's grosser. Gross. I don't know if it's grosser than this movie, but
it's pretty gross.
It's kind gross. Of it's a gross movie, but you got Nathan Fillion, Elizabeth Banks, Michael Rooker, more comedy. I feel like you might enjoy that one. So
got a little bit of a love story in there,
A little bit of a love story in there, yeah. So there's that. Anyway, give us a 5-star review on that. Leave us a voicemail, 346-246-3143. Let us know which movie you would have picked instead of Lisa. If you're the person who gave the Gretel and Hansel review, if you would just call in, so that Mitch can hear you and then like threaten to fight you wherever you live? Again, the number is 346-246-3143. Because I would love to hear that. Mitch, would you do that?
What, fight someone about this?
I mean, I don't know. They pick Gretel and Hans and say, yeah, you're an idiot. This is one of the best movies ever. Like if that person called in and said that, would you fly out to fight them?
We'll see. I might. I do.
Hey, yes. Someone call in.
I do have miles to use. So.
Oh my God.
They're burning a hole in my pocket.
Meet me in Temecula. That's an old meme.
That is.
All right. Well, yeah, do that. And then, episode. Apparently, Mitch is now listing all of our episode numbers now. So we're at episode 251. Give us some more movies to get to, let's go to 300 first, but then 500. Lisa, 500 and beyond. How many are you going to? 1,000, 2,000? Texas Denture Massacre. Like we just we
oh my God.
We rebrand when we get too old.
Oh,
we start an episode talking about
Mitch, Texas Podcast Massacre, the next generation. Our kids that do a podcast about horror movies because we've done it so long.
That's probably for the best. I feel like if we're still doing it into our old age, we'll start an episode talking about one movie and then talking about another, and
that sounds incredible.
Remember what happens.
That sounds incredible.
Or we do like it is whenever my mom is trying to tell me something about she's watching and she doesn't remember anyone's name or any of these particular circumstances. And I have to figure out what the hell she's talking about. Like what I have to guess what show are we talking about. Doing weekly recaps of Game of Thrones was incredible with her. And I almost wanted to make a whole show just devoted to my mom explaining what she's watching on TV. And
that's incredible.
And literally having like people just guess at the end, like, write in, what show do you think my mom was talking about?
That's you got to call in and guess which show we talked about the entire episode.
Yeah,
that would actually be. Let's go. It sounds like we got a lot of pivot. We could pivot any direction we want. So
well, the problem is, I think my mom really only watches like 3 shows now. So it's like Prison Break, Yellowstone, and Outlander. So you have like a
sexy.
yeah. Those are her rewatch shows. It's getting alarming. So nothing any of y'all can recommend is worse than that daily nightmare I have. Love you, Mom. On that note, from all of us here at Texas Podcast Massacre, thank you so much for tuning in, and just keep telling yourself it's only a movie. Good night.